might be covered. Thank you, Chair. Lieutenant General, let's start off with your work at ESCOM. Your position there was a commercial and contracts manager. Just briefly, what exactly did that involve? Briefly, please.
Briefly. I've said to the evidence leader, I struggle because I used to be a lecturer part-time. It involved 3 areas. That was procurement, warehousing, and contract management specialist services.
Okay. Were you involved with the tender that was awarded to I'm sure I'm pronouncing this wrong, Hitachi. What is it? Hitachi Power Africa. I got it right. Yeah, that one. And Chancellor House.
That would have been done at the head office. I worked at the police station, at the power station.
So
no, I wasn't.
Okay. And then why did you leave ESCOM?
CSIR offered me a lucrative deal I could not refuse. Okay. I was headhunted.
Okay. National Treasury. I know you weren't there during the period when I think it was Oracle that was appointed to do the integrated management system, but you joined later while the project, and the project is still currently under investigation by the SIU, and it was more than R1 billion that was spent on that system, which you also just spoke about earlier, the integrated financial management system. What's your take on what went wrong?
I need to explain. There are 2 procurement officers at National Treasury. Mm-hmm. There's a transversal that deals with all government institutions. There's a procurement specific to the department, which dealt with that part. I was not part of that.
And you didn't get any gossip around what happened there? And you didn't get any gossip from your colleagues from what was going on there?
I was aware that there was audits done on the contract, but to what extent the audit outcomes were, I'm not privy to that information.
Okay, and then at the National Treasury, did you encounter any outside interference in your work?
No.
At all?
Not
Everyone
at all.
is just scared of you?
Not necessarily scared of me. There has never been anybody that was bold enough to come and ask, and I would have exposed them if they did.
Okay. Let's go to your SAPS and then the Medicare tender. Do you know if these services that the Cat Mklala was doing, the health risk management, has it always been outsourced by SAPS?
Yes.
Always. Do you think it's something that they should insource because it's a core service?
It's the determination that has to be done by the end user based on
You're using that end user again. I'm just asking that it's a core service of SAPS, am I correct? And it's probably it is in the top 5 tenders that SAPS puts tenders out for. And I'm just asking, do you think that this should be an insourced service that SAPS should do?
I do not have a scientific answer to it. I would not...
Is it a core service, though, that SAPS
It's a core service. It is required. We hire people, we retire people. Yes, it is core.
Okay, and then the MTN and Vodacom tender, you were at SAPS during that period?
During that time.
And that went to court?
No, the one that went to court, I was not part of it when it was awarded. I came subsequently after that.
But it happened when you were at the National Treasury, right?
That's right.
So you would have dealt with it, but you said you weren't in the transversal contract department.
Yeah. The award of the tender to the 4 big mobile network operators included Cell C, Telkom, Vodacom, and MTN. And that award was done and audited. This was above board. The process of contracting with MTN was done at SAPS, and I was not part of that process, and I was not at SAPS at the time.
the head of IDEC, Advocate Johnson, that was here, and she told us that she received the referral from SAPS to investigate this Medicare 24 allegations. So you were aware of that, or you are aware of that, because you've indicated
I am
that
aware of that
yeah.
now, yes.
So if the preliminary report, which you are familiar with, it's dated, it was dated in January 2025, am I correct? Mm-hmm. And the complainant was referred to IDEC in February 2025. And then the final report is dated April 2025. Are we together on the dates?
Yes, we
So
are.
can we conclude that the complaint to IDEC was based on the preliminary report?
It's highly likely, yes.
And is this common in your experience? Is this a common practice in your experience?
No, it's not normally the common practice. The National Commissioner, I think, with his office and internal audit, do the determination when to do the referrals, and they will respond based on information that's known to them. I'm not normally part of that referral process.
Okay, you said you had a meeting, or the minister called a meeting because he wanted to be briefed on the Medicare 24 tender. Who invited you to the meeting?
We normally get invited by the Office of the National Commissioner.
Normally, were you invited by the...
I was invited by the Office of the National
So you didn't
Commissioner.
have any engagements with the minister directly at all?
The minister was part of that meeting.
Well, in the meeting, but prior to that? But prior to the meeting, had you had any engagements whatsoever?
None
with the
whatsoever.
minister? Okay. Who was present from the minister's office?
The minister was there. I think his support staff was there.
Okay, was his chief of staff there in particular, Mr. Kabende? And I'm sure you know him because he was just here the
No,
other
not
day.
the chief of staff. I'm trying to remember.
You don't know him?
I know Mr.
Oh,
Kabende.
okay, so was he there?
Yes.
Let's move on. He was there. And what was his input in the meeting?
He did not have any input at all.
Okay. In your experience, again, is this a common practice for ministers or deputy ministers to call supply chain officials to meetings and ask them to explain tender processes and also to review a tender process? Because you've got quite a long
No,
history.
it is not. It is not a norm. In fact, since I've been to SAPS, it was the first time that a meeting was called. As I've indicated, the minister at the time said he's worried about the reputation this contract would have, and he needed an explanation
So he was
or a
worried,
briefing.
but he said he was worried based on a media report. That's it. He didn't say there was anything else. Just a
Yeah,
media report.
the media
and
report.
And he summoned the entire supply chain to come and explain and to also ask for it to be reviewed. How many meetings did you have with the minister?
One.
It was just one.
One.
So the second meeting, so in his testimony, he said that he had one meeting where he asked for an explanation.
Correct.
Then he asked for the process for you to go back and review.
Correct.
And then who went back? You didn't go back to
I didn't
him
go
after
back.
who went
No.
back in your knowledge, or how did it work?
It probably would be internal audit and legal because they were doing the work.
Okay. And then did you get any feedback after the meeting?
No, I didn't.
And then you said you did the presentation at the meeting, but at the same time you weren't really involved in this process. So how did you familiarize yourself with it to make the presentation?
I did not make a presentation.
Okay.
I was there present in the meeting and the question was asked and I spoke to the process, not a presentation. I spoke to the process as I understood it at the time.
Okay, the process just generally for tenders or the process for this Medicare 24 tender in particular?
The process for Medicare tender specifically, what we have done, what reports were submitted, and that we have concluded the tender based on the bid evaluation committee reports.
And then you convinced the minister that there was nothing untowards, because he told us that he was told initially that there was nothing untowards in the tender. That's why he sent you back. to go and review this process and come back and give a report?
We have indicated to the Minister that based on the report that we have received, we had not picked up anything. And in that meeting, a decision was made that we need to audit the report. We welcomed that,
So, Doug, you
request.
honestly didn't pick up anything, and this thing has blown up, and there's just so much that should have been picked up. So did you properly prep to do this presentation? Because at your level, during your process of prepping to go and do the presentation or whatever it is you were doing to the minister or engage the minister on it, you yourself didn't pick up anything?
With all honesty, no. And in the
Don't
meeting,
think that's troubling though, wow.
we are concerned, I have indicated.
No, you though, because
No,
you're
me,
the one
I
who's
am
in charge
concerned.
there, that you went there and you were like in your suit and say, no, this thing is proper. Like there's nothing untowards, we did the right thing. So it's either you didn't do your job properly, and then that is a concern in of itself, or what happened? Or you were misled. And then even if you were misled by your subordinates, it's a problem.
The BAC actually was misled because the report had indicated that all due diligence was done. And that's where I have a concern. And that's why I have indicated to my team that they need to go and redo the process and redo the standard operating procedures to make sure that we arrest and pick up these issues.
Yeah,
and they are defining that now.
I'm saying that's what you say now, but when you went to present, because you would have had to prep to go and explain that this process was proper, you didn't pick it up.
Cool.
So you were appointed to SAPS in 2022. The last 2 financial years, we've had a total of almost 1 billion in irregularities on procurement of goods and services. You know that, right? In 2023 and 2024 financial year, it was just over 289 million. And then, whooped, it went up to 649 million in the 2024-25 financial year. So I know you've said that you've never had a tender cancelled before, and this Medicare one was the first time. But procurement irregularities, how do you rate yourself in this regard? It's scary. For the average South African there at home.
The irregularities the irregular expenditure that is on that irregular expenditure framework are mainly as a result of this Medicare and RT69.
Okay, but it's a lot, don't you?
It's a lot. May I just qualify something? The RT69 is not a tender that was done by us as SAPS. It is a tender that was done by National Treasury, and that tender is not irregular. What SAPS did was SAPS did not utilize the tender after they had indicated that they will participate. So all the expenditure that happened outside that contract were declared irregular, but the contract itself is not irregular.
Are you listening to yourself, though, General?
I am.
Yeah. And the whole nation is listening to you.
Correct.
So the tender is not, that's proper, but the actual spending was not. I mean, and I guess you're going to give me the same story that you gave one of my honorable members. Are you the divisional commissioner for supply chain and assets for SAPS? Is it the best? Are you the best? Are you who South Africans deserve right now?
I would love to believe yes.
No, but are you? Because you can see the state of our country right now. Do you think you are who we deserve as South Africans right now? I mean, we just spoke about irregular. I mean, you did a disclaimer. But even if it was 1 million or 2 million, it says a lot. It's irregular expenditure.
I cannot be just judged by one indicator, which is significant though.
Oh.
I would like to believe that I have done an immense amount of work in making sure that South African Police Service procurement is all right. I am putting effort into the irregular expenditure process, which is the only indicator in my performance at the moment, which is troublesome. But in fact, in all other areas of procurement, I have improved SAPS. For an example, SAPS used to build 1 police station a year. I have been, in the last 3 years, building in excess of 15 police stations.
And how many do we need? Okay, let's move on. It's fine if you, who South Africans deserve to head up that department. And I'm going to conclude now, and I want to talk about this issue of tenders. I'm sure South Africans are sitting, and those that are watching here, this whole tender process, it's like, what the actual? It's a lot. And it is the reason for, it opens, just listening to it's even blowing my head up, so I can just imagine for the ordinary South Africans. It's the door is wide open for corruption. I mean, even if a company's tender is awarded fairly, we have the issue that pretty much the costs are doubled. Do you procure toilet paper for SAPS? Does SAPS procure toilet paper, not you in particular?
Yes, they do. That SAPS procure toilet paper?
Toilet paper, yes.
Yes, we do.
And that is our point. So a normal person goes and we spend 5 rand on toilet paper, I'm saying, and after you even buy it in bulk, and I'm sure the toilet paper costs 100 rand a roll. But the point I'm trying to make here is that you've been in the space for long enough. There are core services, and I asked this earlier, there are core services of state departments that should be insourcing, that they should be building state capacity. Because outside of the corruption that it causes, we even have a problem that children die in pit toilets, and this is not under your watch, but I'm saying just generally as a country, because we cannot even do a basic thing like doing a proper toilet for kids. They are dying in pit toilets. People are dying in hospitals just because of a tender system. We had a whole PKTT team that's established to deal with political killings because people are killed, politicians are killed, CFOs are killed because of tenders. So they're either killing to get a tender. Just wanted the general with his vast experience to speak to the process.
If both of you can just stop speaking.
Getting rid of this tender process for core services, and that we must insource and strengthen government entities, and we probably wouldn't be sitting here today dealing with an issue of a Medicare 24 tender.